Yes. Oh, take out that mercenary crossbowman. That's very good. Oh, that's a Botanian Fiant champion if ever I saw one. Let's kill him. Yeah. There we go. Take him down. Oh, that guy's falling. This guy's going to try and shoot me in the face. I'm not a big fan of that. Let's get out my shield. Where is he? Where did he go? We're going to hunt him down. He's probably gone up here, hasn't he? Yes. Oh. Hello and welcome back to our Sturgian Viking. So we have 2 traits that we will be able to spend here, and we are going to be taking Elusive. Obviously, I'm still not sure whether that actually works due to, various things not working right now in this particular version. Otherwise, we do have this. I believe most one-handed traits are implemented, even if the secondary benefits of them are not. So I guess this is going to be the only thing that I'll take, really, because this is just, frankly, kind of pointless. But anyway, we're going to take Trainer, hit points increased by 2, really very minor increase there. But otherwise, we do have an army that we're going to be chasing here. And I think you may notice something a little bit different about our character today. I have given her a horse. Now, there's a very good reason for this. I actually was trying to decide how I would level up my character more, because obviously as you level up your proficiencies and get them to higher and higher levels, it is more difficult to gain those skills. And as a result, you're going to have a harder time gaining those focus points, gaining those attribute points, and so on. So I thought, hey, okay, what's the best thing that we can do? Well, the best thing that we can do is try to level up something that is very, very low level indeed. Now, tactics. Let's see here. What do I have available to me right now? I have 337 infantry. Right, 337 infantry. What kind of tactics do you think I can use with this this particular army composition? Because I know that a couple of people have mentioned to me in the past, and indeed maybe recently, I'm actually not sure about that, but anyway, point is, I just wanted to touch upon this very briefly and basically say, what am I going to do with 351 infantry, apart from shield wall until close, and then charge? I don't really know. I mean, what do I have here? I mean, let's have a look at the forms, right? Okay, so they got shield wall, they got loose, they got circle. Circle is basically pointless if we're on the offensive, which we are in this particular battle. And then obviously we do have a variety of other things that we can decide to go for. We could follow me, advance, fall back, and so on. But that's pretty much it. That's all we've really got. We just don't really have a huge amount of tactical options, especially considering my current army composition. That's the point. Some people don't seem to understand that I have so many infantry, even though I've had this kind of army composition for a pretty significant amount of time. Anyway, we're going to be taking this guy prisoner, and we're going to be eliminating him. Oh, yes. And, oh, yeah, that's actually something I also wanted to mention. Some people don't seem to realize my strategy, which is also kind of a bit strange, because I have mentioned this in the past as well. Maybe they don't listen. Maybe they don't listen. I'm not entirely sure why you'd want to watch something that is just battles. I mean, if you want that, you should probably go somewhere else. But this game is just not for you in that case, because the meta game, the overall world map situation, is actually the meat of the game. The battles are just a means to an end, which is something that some people don't seem to understand. I know the majority of you certainly do, and that's the reason why I very much appreciate your support. However, my strategy at the moment, here's the thing. You know how I'm attacking armies, right? I mean, just look at these guys right here. Look at this. They got 27 sharpshooters, right? So they got 27 sharpshooters. How many banner knights do they have? Let's have a look at the composition. Let's see now. Oh, they have none. They've got a couple of knights, but that's basically nothing. That's really not going to do that much, if anything, to them. I have also equipped Laska, by the way. I found her in a tavern. I thought to myself, okay, considering she's come back to me so many times and has been able to survive so often, I thought, okay, let's invest a little bit in her, because we do have a lot of money as it is. I thought I'd save that money just in case we want a particular vassal that is extremely powerful to join us, just for a brief time, if they do end up leaving, of course. And, well, it might very well happen that that is indeed the case. However, as you can see right here, my strategy, you know what it is? My strategy right now, it's obviously changed in the last 5-10 episodes or so, because as time goes on, of course, as the death mechanic is indeed enabled, it does make things a little bit more difficult for Sturgia, because if I join their fights, it is much more likely that they will be eliminated as a result, because it seems to me, like I've mentioned in a previous episode, that the death mechanic is only applicable to units that you're actually in a manual battle with, and it doesn't affect auto-resolve that much. It seems to have auto-resolve being a much lower chance of death happening, which is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that, because if they had death on the same kind of percentage, then it would be quite hard. You know, it seems like people would just be dropping like flies. And of course, as I've also mentioned in the previous episode, the game is, of course, still in development, still in early access, and there's still a whole bunch of balancing measures to take. Now, again, look at this. We've got 227 infantry on the battlefield right now. What do you think I should do with these guys? Because I'm in shield wall formation right now. I'm obviously not charging, right? Because charging would lower their shields, and it would probably result in quite a few deaths, considering we are against a lot of sharpshooters. But that's the thing. What else can I do? You see, what else can I do? That's the funny thing. But anyway, my strategy is now to try and eliminate as many vassals as I can, because that is inevitably going to result in a balance of power being completely swung in the opposite direction. So if I can eliminate a lot of vassals, they're going to have less manpower. Simple. I mean, it's kind of a bit weird that some people don't seem to understand that. I mean, you know, I know a lot of people are pretty good at strategy, but it's kind of a bit weird how you wouldn't understand such a simple one as kill enemy, get power. Yes, that seems to be a thing that, you know, some people don't seem to get, which is very strange to me, considering. Anyway, as I said before, we are now on a horse, and hopefully that is going to result in a lot more action to happen. And you can see here we're actually taking a huge amount of damage, because some of my people have actually put away their shields. As I've said before, we just don't have enough options in regards to the kind of formations that we can take. Yeah, we can do shield wall, but shield wall is not really going to do much. It's not really going to do much in this case, because if they just don't use their shields, just through no fault of my own, then I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to do about that. As you can see, however, we are doing a lot of damage with this two-handed axe. Very, very appreciate having such a long axe now. Ooh. Ah, we almost got him. We almost got him. And now, that's also a rather amusing thing. We're fighting right now. I know. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? We're actually fighting right now. It is... I know it's shocking, but we're in a battle. We are in a battle. Wow. Mind blown. I know it's going to blow some of your minds that we are indeed in a battle right now. But it's true. Look at that. Oh, look at that. 1 second. That one hit resulted in 1 second of fighting. Oh, yes, it certainly did. Hilarious, hilarious. Okay, well, there you go. That's a victory against a larger opponent than ourselves. They also had some sharpshooters, of course, and we're not just fighting against volunteers. Can you believe that? That's hilarious. Now, you know, the main reason why we're fighting against volunteers and things like that most of the time is because of the overall strategy that I'm using, which is, of course, to capture as many vassals as possible and to execute as many of them as possible. And I know someone that may not be as strategically minded, you know, I mean, it's a very simple strategy, so I'm not sure why you wouldn't understand it, but anyway, point is, you know, execute them and gain more power as a result, and there you go. That's it. That's the plan, and it's working very well so far. And well, I kind of knew it would, so it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Anyway, there you go. Okay, so now we can execute all these, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to take a look at the combat strengths, actually. I'd love to take a look at the combat strengths and see exactly what's happening here. So let's take a look at the kingdom screen right now. So the Battanians, as you can see, they've got 2,700. The Khuzait obviously is still doing relatively well. The Aserai are going to be our main issue here. But you've seen, look at how much tribute we've gained in the amount of time that we've been peace in a peace agreement here. 299,000. That is insanity. And then obviously the Vlandians have started to recover a little bit, which I've got to say I'm not too pleased about. There is another little vassal over here. Bear in mind that as particular territory shrinks, you're also going to be seeing less army quality. Hopefully you can understand that, because obviously if a particular faction has less money, in other words, less territory equals less money, because they don't have as many rents and taxes and indeed territory with which to expand their caravan lines and trading lines and, you know, so on. And of course, it might very well be that they are unable to recruit from a variety of different villages as a result of that. Well, that's how it is, you know. If you hit them where it hurts in terms of the territory, then it's going to be pretty impossible for any faction to run around with solely elite composed armies, and that's pretty obvious. I mean, you know, I know you know that, but some people don't, you know. So I just thought I'd explain it. Anyway, we're gonna get out our two-handed and do some never mind, not some damage. Well, never mind. We're going to try our very best to eliminate this guy at least. Oh, there we go. We did some damage to his horse, and oh, never mind. Didn't even need to. So once again, we're going to move our forces ahead. Here's the thing: I have 7 archers. I'd love to be able to utilize more of a variety in terms of our strategy and indeed tactics in a battle like this. But I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss as to what to do, because I have 285 of some of the best infantry that you can get, and I'm not entirely sure what else I can do with them except move them to the enemy so that they can go bonk on their heads. Because going bonk on their heads does result in a couple of battles won. We've won multiple battles by going bonk. And I know, it's just absolutely shocking that is the thing. Because, you know, having weapons that go bonk on people's heads, who would have expected that to win battles? Really? That's just insanity. Anyway, we are obviously going to be attempting to win this with as few casualties as possible, so I'm just going to try and stay in this position for the most part. But we also only have 7 cavalry, which are, well, of course, not really going to impact the battle that heavily, which is kind of a shame. Would have appreciated a couple more of those. So maybe what I'll do is I'll try to recruit some. Maybe I'll try and recruit. See, that's the thing. I actually wanted to eliminate one of the other factions before I started using their units. I actually wanted to impose that as kind of like an unofficial rule on myself, because it kind of makes sense in that way. Because I did that in a previous warband series actually, where I was only able to use units that I had gained the territory of. So, for example, if for example, let's say the Empire were to be eliminated, then the Empire, of course, would then allow us to use their units without any kind of morale penalties or whatever the case may be. So it generally would make more sense from a role-play perspective, from a realistic perspective. Although that's the thing, I say, I mean, there's always conscription, of course. People can be conscripted against their will, but technically, especially considering we're playing as a Viking, that kind of makes sense. But as you can see, the enemy is completely surrounded by our F1, F3, which is probably the most powerful command I can give right now. Hilariously enough, one of only 2 commands that I can give, because otherwise we're just going to be waiting for the AI to make their move. It's insane, I know. It's absolutely insane to believe that F1, F3 is actually going to win when we vastly outnumber and indeed overpower the opponent in such a dramatic way. I know, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. I'm flabbergasted by this whole event. It's just crazy to assume, isn't it? Absolutely. Well, I'm being funny, obviously. I know to most of you, you completely understand. Anyway, let's have a look here. Execution. There we go. She was the last of her clan. I knew that from the previous episode. And there you go. Look at my overarching strategy. But that's the thing. I have no strategy whatsoever. But I have a strategy. That is very amusing. Okay, so there you go. That is indeed it for the leader of the Batanians, and you can see here that we have a very small amount of vassals to oppose us. And well, it's going to be interesting to see how they actually try to fight back against us right here. So there's Zlatka. Zlatka is what is she doing over there? You know, she's not really doing much, is she? No, that's kind of a shame. Okay, well, there's 509 in Cairban Seth here. I suppose what I'll do is I'll try to do a siege. Maybe we'll be able to be somewhat successful here. Let's take a look at the combat strength. Okay, the combat strength is decent, but I don't really want to go through 67,000 HP worth of wall. So I'm going to build siege towers, battering rams, and just try to get in there the old-fashioned way. Ooh, now look at this. This is absolutely fantastic. This is actually a trait I was very much looking forward to gaining, and you can see that right here. You can deflect arrows with two-handed weapons while changing block positions. All right, so as far as I'm aware, in this particular game version, this trait is not yet working, but I could be wrong about that. Could be wrong about it, but we're going to take it nevertheless because, of course, this is our only choice. All right, so we're almost done with the battering ram, and now we're going to lead the assault and continue onward. I've taken a look at bannerlordperks.com, by the way, and I've taken a look at the perk we just gained, and unfortunately, as I suspected, even in the most up-to-date version of the game, which is 1.5.4 at this moment in time, the deflection mechanic is not yet implemented. So obviously that is a bit disappointing because that is a super fun thing to add into the game, and I think it could be really, really satisfying to pull off. I have no idea how it's going to work, of course, because you got to be. Oh yeah, you got to be on point. You got to be super on point. Anyway, I'm just gonna get off my horse right here. It's also kind of convenient to have a horse. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna stay behind the walls right here. But yeah, I'm actually very encouraged by Tailworlds implementing so many. Oh, are you serious right now? Classic, right? Absolute classic. Anyway, I'm actually pretty encouraged by the fact that Tailworlds has implemented so many perks since this version that I'm playing on right now to the most up-to-date one. And if I'll just go through it real quick, one-handed, two-handed polearms, 94%, 86%, 80%, and then they've implemented almost all of the ranged ones, which in my version right now is currently not available. Most of them are sub 30%, but most of them, actually all of them, are above 90% now, which is absolute craziness. I very much appreciate that. And the only things that are not above 80% are tactics, roguery, which are both 50% and 52%, and engineering. Engineering is the only perk tree that is completely not touched whatsoever and is not implemented, and that is at 0%. Alright, well, it looks like one of our siege towers has already reached the walls. The other one is still yet to arrive, and this is... yeah, you can see from the combat strength we're actually having some issues. I can't really do much against the gate myself. At least the outer gate is almost impossible to penetrate as a regular unit, so I'm just gonna kind of chill out here a little bit and just wait for the battering ram. Technically, I would go up the siege tower here, but because we are actually against Batanians, I don't really want to do that. I feel like that is probably going to be a pretty big mistake, because I'm literally going to go up there, get shot in the face by a militia archer, and then probably die. And, well, let's face it, it's probably that I'm going to fall off the wall and then get murdered by my own stupidity. Yes, that is most likely going to be the case. That has happened many times before, has it not? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to go two-handed I'm going to go two-hand, and we're going to try and do some damage, yes. I like doing damage, but unfortunately it is kind of difficult to have that work when the enemy is just consistently blocking for themselves. Oh yeah, switch to the overhead, and now we're able to crush through a couple of their blocks. Unfortunately, they are still proving to be quite defensive right now, which is to be expected, of course. They are obviously hoping that their militia archers will be able to continue dealing damage, but it is making things very difficult for us right now. Look at that. Very, very difficult. Come on, get him. Get him. Yes. Oh, take out that mercenary crossbowman. That's very good. Oh, that's a Battanian Fian champion if ever I saw one. Let's kill him. Yeah. There we go. Take him down. Oh, that guy's falling. This guy's going to try and shoot me in the face. I'm not a big fan of that. Let's get out my shield. Where is he? Where did he go? We're going to hunt him down. He's probably gone up here, hasn't he? Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't want to go up there just yet. I'm going to block this guy from trying to escape, though. Nice. Nice. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Let's try and kill him. Nice. Oh, this is bad. Let's run. That was close. That was a little bit too close for my liking, but we do have a couple of people still fighting here, so maybe I can join their ranks. Yeah, there we are. Nice. Ooh, now I personally feel like that was super. Wow, that was actually very enjoyable. We almost died, but we managed to survive. Oh, can you believe it? Okay, so there you go. 61 deaths on our part. Super, super heavy casualties, but we were able to take the town, which is all that matters in this case. Taking that territory, reducing the overall strength of the Battanians in this area is our overarching goal. And we did have the opportunity to draw some people out of the woodwork, which of course is my secondary goal. Technically, my primary goal is to, well, of course, take over the entirety of Calradia. That is, of course, the name of the game. But my secondary goal is to try and take as many vassals as I can prisoner and, well, say hello to the, well, force them to say hello to the executioner's axe. Ah, now look at this. It seems like another castle has been taken by someone else. I actually have no idea who it was, but this is actually looking pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't really want this to go to Vipon, but I'm going to give it to him nevertheless because he seems to have more support than most people, and I don't really want to give it to Miron either because we are then going to split the amount of fiefs that these random non-Sturgian vassals have, and it might very well cause some issues. Not entirely sure about that, to be honest. Maybe it's better to divide them up, so that if one of them does defect, then we'll have a much easier time of taking it back, potentially. I don't really know. But anyway, for this particular castle, we're going for the wonderful Trebuchet Strategy. And my strategy is flawless, as we all know. It certainly is, yes. Anyway, we're going to try and get the walls down. The ballistas, as I've said before, are fantastic at dealing with trebuchets. They just build so incredibly fast that it's very difficult for the trebuchets to sort of pin them down, whereas catapults do tend to have too slow a build speed to really make that work. Although trebuchets, if they are able to be accurate enough against the ballistas, that's all that you really need. Ah, now look at this. This is when the turning point might actually be happening with these trebuchets. As you can see, the ballistas are starting to wear down the trebuchets. We only have a literal 2,000 left. One more hit. Yeah, there we go. Phew. Okay, we actually literally just made it. That was going to be a little bit uncomfortable if we had not been able to get that wall down. And that's exactly what I mean. If these guys had just had a little bit more luck in regards to the accuracy of my trebuchet, then they would have been able to kill that, and, well, we would have had to build all kinds of things back up, which would have been very annoying. But anyway, now that it's nighttime, we're going to go in, and we're going to try and do some damage to Druimore Castle. Hopefully that is going to fall before us, and, oh yeah, look at that. Wonderful weather effects, and I love the fires that are currently burning. Oh, might be a little bit of a problematic situation here. It seems to me like this castle is a bit laggier than most. As you saw in the Caer Banseth siege, the optimization there was pretty much flawless. I could run around at an extremely high frame rate, whereas now, as you can no doubt tell, things are moving much, much slower, which is very weird. I'm not entirely sure why that is, to be honest. I know some other people have also told me in the comments that they also have the same issues in these particular castles, so I suppose it is indeed an optimization problem. So that is kind of unfortunate. Oh, there's some people. Do we have any other people around here? No, I can just kind of avoid them. All right, that's not too bad then. Yeah. Got to be a bit careful here. That's the one thing that I very much enjoy about Bannerlord as well. The shield durability has been significantly increased. So generally you're going to be having a very easy time of things defending quite often. But of course, over time, that is going to fade because eventually your shield is going to be destroyed. But it's usual that you're probably going to lose your HP before your shield gets destroyed. I have pretty much only had my shield be destroyed maybe once or twice before in every series that I've created so far on Bannerlord, because I would generally use my HP much more, which it's not really the best idea. It's much better to use your shield in comparison. But yeah, that sometimes just is not the way of things, you know. Sometimes you just get a little bit unlucky, you know? Get a little bit unlucky. Ah, here we go. Here's the main fighting, all right. Switching to my two-handed. Take a little bit of full damage. Not too bad. Shake it off, Iceni. Let's do this. Let's get in there. Apparently they're running. We've done so much damage to their morale that they are literally just running. But we're fighting hard. And that's the point. Even if I'm not personally fighting, my army is indeed fighting. So, you know, that's just the way of things. No matter what, what may happen, we are indeed fighting for the ownership of this castle, and hopefully it will fall before us. I'm hitting the stairs. That's kind of a bit annoying, isn't it? Oh, that's very bad of me, isn't it? Okay, maybe I need to change the angle of attack. There we go. That's a little bit better. What? We've advanced in level? I never would have expected it. Not so soon, at least. Oh, there's a lot of people. They could basically just absolutely turn the tables on us right now if they wanted to, but they are so concerned with escaping that I don't think that is going to happen. We're actually blocking them off a little bit here as well. The tactics from my forces right there. F1, F3 coming through once again, because what else am I going to do? Anyway, there you go. 18 deaths on our side. Not bad. Not bad. As said before, I am playing completely on realistic maximum damage modifiers, campaign AI, whatever else you want to call it, and the sheer futility of the opponent's defense is literally just because we have such high tier units at the moment. That's it. That's the only reason. And obviously the enemy has only militia, pretty much. They had about 100 or so units, but those 100 or so units were not really anything special, and as a result, we were able to overpower them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to disband the army right here. I'm going to disband the right army, not someone else's army. Technically, you can do that, by the way. You can actually disband other people's armies, and then you can call for those particular vassals to join yours. So if you do have something that you'd prefer to do instead, then obviously you have that option, which I think is very cool. I like the ability to do that. And we're going to give this to Varyag, because he seems to have more of a support than most. We're just generally going to go with the majority opinion at the moment. That's usually the best way to go about things. And I'm thinking, oh, hello there. Hello, Mr. Lucant. What do you have in your army? Okay, so he has 19 sharpshooters, and that's it. Well, as I've said before, it's very difficult for enemy units, or should I say, enemy vassals to gain large, powerful armies when we have beaten them down so incredibly heavily and they don't really have a grand swathe of territory to draw from. And that's the whole point. That's the reason why my strategy, my overarching grand strategy that I told you about 5-10 episodes ago, is working quite nicely. But obviously, as I've said before, I'd love more variety in the amounts of different strategies that we can use. Assassinations, and maybe make the persuasion system a little bit more robust, because as it stands right now, persuading one of these vassals to join you and then having them leave, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. Anyway, these guys do seem to want to fight, so I guess we will indeed go in with them, and we will help out a little bit. Oh, the combat strength's looking pretty good for them, actually. It is looking pretty decent. So we'll see how it goes. I am on a horse, of course, so this is going to be pretty good. And once again, we have overwhelming infantry. So, oh yeah, that's actually something I wanted to mention. In my off-screen time, in one of the cuts, in between one of the cuts, I was actually thinking to myself, maybe I should change my army composition. But that does indeed then change a little bit of the theme that I wanted to go for. Because obviously I wanted to go for a primarily infantry-based army, because that is in my opinion, that is the hardest composition to play with. Because if you don't have any kind of ranged capability, then most units are going to be quite hard to deal with. And I thought that would be quite, challenging. But it seems like most of the time we don't really have too many difficulties. I think we would definitely have difficulties if we were outnumbered significantly by most likely the Azarai at this point. I think the Azarai and the Khuzait are probably going to have the most chances to murder us. I don't think the Vlandians or the Battanians can do much now, because their unit quality, as I've said before, is going to be so dramatically reduced in comparison to those other factions. I'd like to do some damage, though. I would like to do some damage. Unfortunately, heading into the trees is never a good idea for me. Oh, he put up his shield just in time. Put up a shield just in time. How dare you? Okay, well, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tell everyone to charge in, because here's the thing. What am I going to do otherwise? With just infantry in my army, there's not really any other strategy that I can implement. Unfortunately, I'd like some more variety. That's for certain. I would definitely like some more variety, but there's just not much I can do. So that's the reason why I was thinking, hey, maybe I should indeed change my army composition somewhat. I do have a little bit of cavalry in one of my garrisons. I think I have about 50, 60. So it might make sense for me to go there and get some. Gonna get off my horse here, and we'll see if we can maybe get into the battle. There we are. There we go. Nice. Do some damage. Ooh, that was a nice double kill right there. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. Yeah, we're just completely running them down right now. I mean, that's the point. Generally, as I've said before, it is not going to be that easy for infantry-focused armies to have any other kind of strategy that I can indeed use, because obviously I'm going to need to beat the enemy, so I can't just wait for them to basically do nothing against us, because it has been proven in the past, and my many experiences with the AI in Warband and in Bannerlord as well have shown that sometimes when the AI is outgunned, outskilled, outgeared, they're just going to stand at the opposite end of the battlefield and not really do much. Or they're just going to send in their cavalry randomly and have them die against your cavalry if you have any. So yeah, it's a little bit of a stalemate in that case. So the only thing that I can do is indeed charge in, which is what 99% of players do. Yeah, kind of. That's the point. There's not enough variety with an infantry-focused army for me to be able to do anything other than that. Hopefully that's understandable. I mean, you can see it with your own eyes, so I know that the majority of you actually do understand that, so I appreciate that greatly. Anyway, let's actually have a look. Ooh, hello there. Oh yes, I will be attacking you straight up. Oh yes, and this is definitely a time when I'm going to do an auto-resolve. We lost no one from that. I really wanted to take her prisoner because she is indeed a part of Hekard's clan, as far as I remember. And I would like to be able to execute her as soon as possible. I really want to find out where Peric is. Peric is someone that I've wanted to execute for a while. Oh, there we go. There's another clan that has fallen before us. All right, so let's take a look at the diplomacy. Yeah, so the Battanians are now at 2,000, and the Vlandians are at 2,600. Obviously, if you're going to reduce the amount of vassals that a particular faction has, it's just going to reduce their overall presence in the game. The only thing that is actually preventing us from taking over the entirety of all of these castles and towns are their significant garrisons. Their garrisons are very well protected, and that's the thing. I'm probably going to be able to pretty much besiege anything I want. We're going to have to deal with the garrison. We can't really be intercepted at this point because most of these factions really do not have any clans left over with any kind of significant power. You can see here that these people right here, they are all children. They are literally all children. So the only people still basically alive is this one right here. She's 28, so obviously she's going to be able to fight. But most of the others are indeed children. So they obviously will not be participating in fighting. But having one vassal in that one, two vassals, no, actually just one in this clan. One in this clan. And two in this clan. So yeah, there's basically a grand total of 4 or 5. Yeah, 4 or 5 vassals in the entirety of Britannia. And that is exactly the reason why my strategy, which is obviously the main aim of the game, is to eliminate as many vassals as possible and to take their territory. As you can see, however, we are just about done with the Britannians. They have 1, 2, 3, 4... actually 5, 6. They've been expanding a little bit down here, or maybe they have. I actually don't even know what's going on down there. But otherwise, they have about 6, 7 castles, and they have 1 town. So that's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to dealing with them. Actually, you know what I want to do? I'm going to check out Vlandia real quick as well. Oh yeah. I have been absolutely massacring the Vlandians, as you can no doubt tell. There's just literally one Vlandian clan that is natively part of Vlandia that is still remaining, and then obviously you do have the mercenaries from this particular minor faction as well. But otherwise, apart from that, that's it. That's the reason why Vlandia pretty much cannot do anything. They just have garrisons that are very strong. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then please, by all means, leave a like. I greatly appreciate it. And otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.